My worst day in real estate. During the downturn in the mid-late 2000s, I worked for the asset management companies. Think of it like the banks. Where people were losing their homes, I represented the asset management companies that would own the properties after they had been foreclosed on, purchased at auction. And I would have to notify the former homeowners that they no longer own the home and, what were their plans for moving, take over the home and remarket it for sale. Which sounds fine because my job was selling homes and it definitely supplied a steady stream of homes for sale and commission checks on my end. One day in July, I'll never forget, trying to find a specific address to go notify the homeowners that they no longer own their home. I pulled up in front of this really cute home. It was the nicest looking home on the block. Everybody else's lawns were dead, unkept, dead flowers in the flower beds, dirty driveways, cars that hadn't been washed. This home was pristine, looked great, fresh paint, lawns manicured, flower beds taken care of. Gather the paperwork, I'm sweating, I'm nervous about knocking on the door and what kind of conversation I'm gonna have to have. I do not like being the bearer of bad news. What a terrible situation. I knock on the door, there's a little bit of rustling inside. I'm nervous, my heart's pounding, trying to be professional and remember what I'm supposed to say. And this woman opens the door and she's holding this young little girl in her arms and there's another one a little bit older wrapped around her leg and she says, "Yes." And I said, "Are you Mrs. Smith?" And she says, "Yes, I am. Why?" I said, "Well, I'm Jeff and I work for fill in the blank bank and I'm here because you no longer own your home. It was foreclosed on and I'm here from the asset management company that owns it now to find out about your plans for moving." I had to listen to her story. She tried to explain to me and justify the fact that she hadn't been paying her mortgage, as if I needed to hear that. That, they had gotten an adjustable rate mortgage, her and her husband, it was their dream. She was a registered nurse and he worked in construction and building homes and he had lost his job and times got tough and her income wasn't enough to make the new mortgage because the adjustable rate mortgage had shifted and they had had another child. And one morning she woke up and he was gone. Husband had just left and that was the end of it. She was left with 2 young children on her own, sole source of income. Her hours had been cut. She couldn't make the car payments. She couldn't make the mortgage payment. So she stopped. And what was she supposed to do? She had no family in the area. She had nothing. Thankfully, even with my broken heart, I thought well enough of it, thinking that I'd had a good relationship with the asset management company. So I was able to go back to them and thankfully be able to get them to front her enough money to be able to pay first and last month's rent and pay for movers to be able to move. But I'll never, ever, ever forget just how bad it felt to have to be there to tell her she had to move in her situation. But again, thankfully I was able to help in that situation. But yeah, it's not always sunshine and unicorns.